Hey guys, what is going on? You're checking out a special Thursday night edition of the RCWR show. Lee Sanders here. What's going on? Thank you so much for checking out this episode. Drop in Thursday night of April 2nd, 2020. What is going on? Crazy week. I'll tell you guys about it in just a hot second. But as always, I do appreciate you guys, whether you're checking out the shows live or you're checking it out on demand and on the downloads. Do appreciate those of you that go out of your way, check out the show every single week. Means a lot. We are on the road to Wrestlemania, even though it doesn't feel like we are on the road to Wrestlemania. But I gotta tell you, under the circumstances, I'm actually looking forward to it. It'd be nice to take my mind, can't speak for anybody else, just me and my family. But for me personally, I can't wait to see what WWE has in store, as it will be nice, if even just for a couple of hours on Saturday and Sunday, to be able to just forget about all this craziness that's going on right now. I'm down with that. I'm truly down with that. So my schedule has been a bit crazy, and don't worry, we're going to be talking about WrestleMania. Look, no spoilers. I know they've already taped it. Going to do our best to just deal with the card as it is, offer predictions, all that good stuff, and we'll see what happens, okay? So we're definitely not spoiling it over here for you guys, but we'll talk about that, a couple other little tidbits. It's going to be a short show. Normally I say that, and we actually end up doing a solid show. We end up doing 2+ hours, but I'm in the dark on a lot of stuff as far as what went down this week. Reason being, in case you guys aren't following me on social media and all that, I'm sure many of you are affected by what's going on with the whole outbreak. It's definitely affected the Sanders household. Me and the missus kind of talked about it a little bit off and on, and for the industry that she's in as a treatment planner, working in the healthcare system, working in dental, you know, her entire staff at both facilities got basically collect unemployment. Like, you guys, there's no way we can reopen. Like, we're done right now. And so there's no telling how long that's going to be lasting. So that's the first knockout punch. And then my industry that I've been working in for almost 10 years, that got affected tremendously, as I've been working in marketing research. That it was so crazy, the timing of it, because I had got a partial raise. Now some of you may kind of raise an eyebrow and say, what the hell? You can't do a partial raise. Yeah, you can. So basically, I had asked my bosses for a raise, and what I wanted initially as far as per hour, they basically gave me half of that and said, look, last quarter, really rough for us. Honestly, 2019 and all was really bad for the company, but we know you've been with us for such a long time and we just want you to work with us. You know, here's half now, and depending on how things play out going into the summer, let's revisit this in June, and then we can go from there. We can maybe talk about some new opportunities for you in the company, yada, 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 okay? So I get my partial raise. Now you understand why I said it as that, but this outbreak, not too kind for the marketing research industry. Hours are extremely scarce. I mean, how bad is it? We're talking anywhere from 2 to 3 hours. If I'm lucky, I can maybe get 4 hours out of my company, but I'm averaging 2 to 3 hours. And when you got mouths to feed, when you got bills to pay, that just ain't gonna cut it. So I've actually had to, thanks to my future mother-in-law, she actually was able to, just open the door, and pretty much my personality had to win it all. But I put on an old familiar glove that's basically retail, and I was frowning upon it because I haven't done retail in, well, I remember that was that one year I was working Hallmark. You guys remember that. But like retail, I hadn't done it in 10 years. So it was kind of, all right, get me caught up to speed. What the hell's going on? What all I've been missing? I frowned upon it for the longest time. But I had the mother-in-law and I had Tam's tag team and basically saying, no. It's a different beast. You're actually going to be okay. You don't have to worry. Trust us, you're good. And that particular store, everybody is nice there. The employees are nice. You're in good hands. And I said, okay, all right, let's see what happens. So, and true enough, everybody, it's been a cool experience. It's been a cool experience. It's like, damn, this is what I've been missing all these years. Like, okay, cool. So yeah, the schedule's been a little bit crazy. So, I'm juggling two jobs right now. So I'm working for the job I've been working at for about 10 years. I'm still helping them out anytime they need the help. And then once I'm done with them, I'm pretty much, all right, grab a quick bite to eat, get something to drink, out the door, go do the retail job. So programming for this week, you guys have probably noticed we didn't do a Monday show. We didn't do a Wednesday show. So you got to give me just the rest of this week. And then when it comes to this coming week, everything is going to be back to normal. So you'll get your Monday show, you'll get your Wednesday show. Just appreciate y'all's patience. Just work with me. Everything, we're starting to get back to normal. Just pretty much had to give my body a couple of days to get used to this new schedule that I'm on. So as a result of that new schedule, I did not sadly see what was going down with this week's AEW and NXT. The one time I would have my VCR set, well, not VCR, my DVR, I wish it was a VCR. The one time I have my DVR, I'm thinking it's set. It's not set. And it's not set because normally Wednesday nights I'm in the home and I'm actually watching the goddamn shows back to back. So there's no reason for me to record. I forget to hit the record button. So I'm not going to be coming on here talking about, yeah, that was cool. And I'm not going to come at you guys like that. I know that AEW is doing a tournament right now. Something Tiger tournament. They're introducing a new championship, right? So that's good. I personally think anytime you are a promotion like AEW and, look, your champion can't always be on TV, right? Thus, a secondary championship you put in play. I don't have a problem with that whatsoever. I think it's a really smart move, quite honestly, right down to the point. It makes me wish that Jericho actually did not lose the championship to Moxley. It's crazy what's going on right now because a lot of us were under the impression that, okay, maybe Jericho, but I'm always the first to tell you guys, and I've said it over the years, when it comes to Jericho and just when you think you know his schedule, don't, because he always freaking surprises you. And sure enough, Jericho, another surprise there. We thought for sure him dropping the title to Moxley, maybe this was going to open him up to going on tour with Fozzy and everything. And maybe rightfully so, before all this stuff went down with the COVID-19 and everything. But, look, them having a secondary title in the picture right now, I don't have a problem with it whatsoever. I really don't think it's needed at this particular time. But, hey, if it creates exciting programming and all that, I'm all down for that. Shout out to Carson. Carson in the chat, he says, hope everything is well for you, even though you're being super busy. Hope your family's doing well. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I hope you guys are doing okay too. And to you and yours. And I can't stress this enough. I know these are some turbulent times right now. And I know that there are a lot of people that are wondering where their next dollar is going to be coming from. If I could just give anybody some sound advice right now, it's this. I know there are some of you guys, whether you are in market research or whether you work in healthcare, whether you're a lawyer or whatever the industry, restaurant, club business. I know there's a lot of you guys that have been affected by COVID-19 tremendously, and it has just torn your whole world upside down, especially from a financial standpoint. I don't know how long this is going to be that we're all experiencing right now, but I appreciate the fact that you got the utility companies and everybody, they're trying to work with us. I appreciate that, but your mind right now should just be, if I could just give any advice, I'm not giving you guys any advice that the Sanders household isn't doing themselves, which is, look, if there's somebody hiring and you can pretty much, if not get up to half of what you normally make in the industry that you're in, if not more, then you kind of owe it to yourself to go ahead and go for it. And, look, it's not permanent. That's the whole thing you got to keep in your mind. It's not permanent. It's just temporary until everything gets back to normal. And then you can just easily go on back to your old job, right? So, that's how you got to look at it right now. Hey, am I risking my health doing what I'm doing? Oh, you bet your ass. But if it means at the end of the day, hey, I don't have to worry about a roof over me and my family's head. Shit is still on in the house, utilities, heat, all that. Car payments and all that can still be paid on time. All the bills can be paid on time. Then I'm willing to take that risk, especially if there's already been, what's the word I'm looking for? If there are parameters like precautions that's already been set and everything. That's the best advice that I can give to any and everybody. Some of my friends, fellow friends in the podcasting world, they've been affected by this. It's tore them up upside down. And trust me, I know what they're going through. I mean, same discussions in this household. And, let me tell you something. If I could just share one little happy experience with you guys, it's the fact that I was so complacent with my day job all these years that I needed a little bit of an extra kick in the ass to really get me motivated and really open my eyes and see that, there's not really growth with this particular employer. There's not really any opportunities to move up in the company. Everybody else is going to get their piece of the pie except you. So why are you continuing to stay this dedicated when if there's one good thing for me that's really come out of this, it's the fact that it's really forced me to open my eyes and really say, when is enough enough? So I'm actually happy that, this boot in the ass known as COVID-19 did what it did, at least for me in my life, because it's now moving me in a direction of more financial stability, definitely more growth and opening even more opportunities and everything, and is really making me just, wow, why didn't I make these moves sooner? Why was I procrastinating so long? Things of that nature. Look, some of you guys may even say, well, I don't have experience in XYZ. These people don't care right now. Whether you talk about whether it's retail, whether it's as a delivery driver, you name it. As long as you ain't robbed nobody, as long as you ain't kill nobody, you're freaking hired. So you really owe it to yourselves. If you're stressing over money right now, you really owe it to yourselves to jump out there and see what you can do and keep your fingers crossed and just keep hustling. That's all I gotta say. Just keep hustling. Them doors are going to be opening. If you're really serious about opening those doors, trying to keep you and your family fed, you keep pounding on enough of those doors out there of those people that's saying there's hiring. Sooner or later, I guarantee you, if you stay dedicated enough, just challenge yourself, 7-day period. I guarantee you, before those 7 days are up, you're going to get hired from somebody. And just keep in the back of your mind, it's only temporary. You just need to keep them long enough until your regular job, until this whole crap just gets back to normal, and then you can go back to your other job. Don't burn a bridge with whoever is willing to hire you during this time period, because you never know when you might need them again down the road. So once everything passes and you're about to, okay, everything's good, I can go back to my other job, bow out gracefully from the other people that hooked you up at the time when you and your family really needed it the most. That's enough COVID talk. From here on out, I'm talking wrestling and some other tidbits. But that's pretty good what, going back to AEW, the whole championship, secondary championship, that's good what they're doing. I don't really have a problem with that whatsoever. I did catch Raw this week. I gotta tell you, I was kind of going through the motions of Monday Night Raw. I'm not giving you guys a full-blown recap, just little things that caught my eye and everything. The Undertaker opening up the show, and that was a nice retro return there of the American Badass, kind of something along the lines of what artist Rob Schamberger was talking about. He was really the first to. I really got to make sure I give him a lot of credit, because when I had the opportunity to go one-on-one with him a couple of years back, and we were talking about the idea of Undertaker going into the Hall of Fame and the streak ending to Lesnar and everything. He was the first. Nobody else I saw, not even that I follow on social media or anything like that. Nobody I saw except for him. In that moment when me and him were sitting down for our conversation, he was the only one that said, well, I think further down the road, the direction we're going with The Undertaker is he's going to go back to the American Badass. And, we saw a little bit of a tease from that point when it looked as though, all right, streaking it to Lesnar, now what? But then when you fast forward a couple of years, it just kind of seemed as though maybe it was kind of getting teased a little bit here and there. But then we get what we had got on Monday night, and just everything that's been going on with this AJ Styles feud and everything. You see how great of a promo Undertaker had cut on Monday night. I was feeling it, and shout out to my man Julian. Julian was saying, Undertaker's going a little Negan there. I was picking up a little bit of Negan too, but no, it was more so the American Badass Undertaker. I was loving that. I was just eating out of the palm of his hands, and I can't wait to see that Boneyard match. As far as matches for Mania, that's one of the top 3 matches for me that I'm looking forward to the most, that I think is really gonna deliver, because particularly WWE had an opportunity to just go all balls out from a pre-production standpoint and everything. So I can't wait to see what they're going to be able to do, and just the fact that they're going to be able to, they were able to do this. I keep wanting to talk about it as if it's about to happen, but I have to constantly remind myself this match has already happened. They've already taped these matches. I know that with them, they being WWE, being in this position where they could tape these matches, and looking at that particular match with Undertaker, yeah, we all could be in agreement that the last handful of physical outings that the dead man has had really wasn't that desiring of a fan to go, I want to see more from Taker, from Mark Calloway. So kind of having that in the back of your mind, you hear WWE is pre-taping this match, you can't help but go, well, shit, man. You ain't got to worry about no fans. You ain't got to worry about being live. If something ain't right, you can just cut. That didn't feel right. Didn't like the way that was executed. Let's do that over again. All right, and take 2. So I would expect that this match is going to be, just from a pre-production standpoint, I think that's the one that's going to have a lot of people talking. I really, really do. I'd be very disappointed at this point if any of the matches that were taped for Mania come out and we're viewing it ourselves this Saturday and Sunday, and we go, well, that was shit. And then the first question we're going to be asking ourselves is, well, why was this released? They had X amount of days. Why settle for this? You could have went back to the drawing board until you fine-tuned it. So, and I'm just thinking that way for all the matches for Mania. There's really no excuses, but the Taker, AJ, that one should be really, really good. I'm looking forward to that one the most. Becky Lynch riding in a truck. Yeah, she's got her own demand truck. I swear to God, I thought we were gonna, okay, she's got her Stone Cold little mini moment right here. Okay, I get it. But I thought for sure all throughout the night a scenario would come about where Becky's rig was going to get destroyed by Baszler. I thought for sure we were going to get something like that. And it never happened. I had to settle for Baszler attacking Shayna after Becky. Didn't she show off a match? Yeah, she showed off a Mania match. I think maybe it was her. Was it her, Charlotte, and Asuka or something like that? Her, Charlotte, and Ronda. I think that was the Mania match that they had showed from this past Monday. Showed that in all its entirety. Yeah, I clocked out on Raw pretty much after Taker. It felt like I was there physically, but mentally my mind was just in another place far, 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 far away. But it would have been nice to see some type of angle where the rig did get destroyed. Like, as soon as you see the rig, you're going, oh, okay, well, how long is this going to last? Surely before the night is over her rig is going to get destroyed, and the rig doesn't get destroyed. You know, that's like literally having a sexy woman in lingerie coming into the freaking bedroom saying, "Do you like what you see?" And you're going, "Uh-huh, uh-huh. And would you like a piece?" And you're like, "Uh-huh, uh-huh, I sure would." And then next thing you know, the lights go off, and you know, the lights come back on, and she's gone, and Raging Bull is still there in your boxers, and you know, you're wondering what the hell happened. You realize, I just got teased. That's how I kind of felt what they did on Monday with the freaking rig. Unacceptable for me, as far as I was concerned. They had a really cool moment right there where they could have done some really cool stuff for the fans and everything. Speaking of the fans, I'm not sure if you guys are aware of this. I'm actually a member of WWE Fan Council. You know, they survey, you know, every month, a couple of polls that they put out there. But they gave this newest poll, a little survey, and they basically are trying to make up for the lack of fans live in attendance. So WWE, they're trying to improvise. And the way they're trying to improvise is they show you the matches that's going on. This is what they're thinking about now. This is what they're thinking about. They're thinking about giving you the match as normal, but there's going to be some type of a split screen. So basically, the video of whatever that match that's going on, that's taking place, that's going to be center. And then all around that screen in the center, right, all around it, is going to be little videos of you, the fans, that's going to be reacting in real time to what you're seeing happen from NXT or Raw or SmackDown. Now, I don't know about you guys, but yeah, no, thank you. That's not going to work for me. Let me tell you the reason why that's not going to work. It's not going to work because, one, you're going to have fans that know that, hey, it's very well possible WWE can pick up on my reactions to, and so you're going to get people that are going to be overly animated. I'm sure you guys have seen a lot of the people. I can't understand it for the love of me, but you got people that do watch-alongs and all that. Look, man, if that's your cup of tea, if you want to watch somebody, just picture this, just riddle me this for a second. If you want to sit down, open up YouTube or Twitch, Periscope, and you want to watch someone's face as they are looking at their monitor or their TV of your favorite show, because you can't access that show, so you're basically living that experience through them. If you're willing to look at somebody else's face as they're watching a TV because you don't, God bless you. I sincerely mean that. I'm not bashing. To each its own. That's not for me. I never understood it. Now, you know, I'm old school. If I'm gonna say, for example, a couple of years ago, I remember it was Metallica's first time in X amount of years that they had performed live in concert, No Leaf Clover, which is one of my all-time favorite freaking songs. Lyrically, just very well structured, from Metallica's first S&M concert and everything, with the San Francisco Symphony Orchestra with Michael Kamen. Loved it. So when I heard, I think, what was it, maybe 2015 or 2011? I got it on the YouTube channel, but it was their first time doing it. And I heard about it. I said, oh, okay, well, this should be good. And I remember the way I had recorded it. I recorded myself looking, and you guys could actually see the Metallica video I was looking at, and you could listen to it, you know, right along with. Now, if you're doing something like that where it's basically video in a video, I got no problems with that. I think that's really cool, especially if you can work out a deal with the publisher, you know, the people that carry the license, you know, all that, and you ain't got to worry about legal ramifications. You know, if you can smooth things out and you can do stuff like that, I think that's cool. But yeah, to load up the Twitch, load up the YouTube, you're watching somebody that's watching the show that you wish you could watch, but you can't watch, so you're watching them watch the show. No. So for me, you're going to have people that are going to be overly animated. You're really not going to capture their true sincerity of all the stuff that's happening with some of these shows from WWE. So that's your first problem right there. The second problem, are you really going to be able to tap into the true representation of your age demographic when you're doing stuff like that? Number 3, do I need to elaborate any more on number 2? Let me know if I do. I don't think I do. Number 3, my other concern with this is, how honest are we going to be with these people that's fans that we're going to be showing, that's going to be watching these matches, that's going to be watching these segments? How sincere is it going to be? Yeah, obviously, we don't want people that's going to be just profanity left and right? We don't want that. But are we going to open this in such a way where when criticism needs to be given to a particular segment or a match, are we going to be that honest, WWE? Are we going to be that honest, and we're actually going to show those fans that's being very vocal about their displeasure? I don't really think so. So for me, if this were to go through, what I'm going to predict right now for you guys, I would predict that if this does get the green light, and I wouldn't be surprised if WWE tried a couple of experiments with this, see how people are reacting to it on social media and everything. I would not be surprised if WWE went through some type of a screening process where they looked at what people were saying about the product on their Twitter profiles and all of that and go, okay, they are very pro WWE. They're not going to say anything bad. We can let this roll. They're actually going to be good for us. Let's ride with it. I also wouldn't be surprised if they tried to pay special attention to certain age demographics. Meaning, I wouldn't be surprised if they were trying to go for young folks. I wouldn't be surprised if they were trying to go for teenagers, say 15 and under. I would not be surprised if that was maybe the main audience, or if they maybe try to go for those that's, mom, dad, got the kids. I look, the odds of seeing Lee Sanders from the RCWR show, you could forget it. Even if I were to just entertain the idea of doing something like that, and I'm not going to go through because I have a pretty established track record of giving WWE constructive criticism where it's needed, crapping the hell out of whatever ain't clicking. I give them praise too where praise is due. But the odds of me going, or some of my other podcasting friends, the odds of us going through, making it through all of those filters, and you're able to see us reacting to whatever, you could forget about it. It ain't happening. It ain't happening. So that's going to be a tricky situation. So look, I'm going to say this, with everything that's going on with the outbreak and how it's been affecting a lot of the wrestling promotions, touring and everything, that is something that I would say look for in the next 2 to 3 weeks when WWE decides, let's have this go live. Let's see what we can get from social media, what they think about this. So I would say give about 2 to 3 weeks tops. They're going to roll it out. And I'm most curious how people on social media react to this. Remember when WWE, I can't remember the social media platform they were tripping over a couple of years ago. It wasn't TikTok. It was something else they were tripping over. They thought it was basically the new Twitter or whatever. and it never really picked up. They were trying to get all the fans to interact over there, and I remember they were showing fan reactions for Raw and SmackDown in between the little breaks or whatever. And that really didn't last that long because you have fans that were pretty vocal on social media. Where are you getting these goofs from? What the hell is going on? So that's not really gonna work. Trying to think if there's anything else from Raw I had liked this week that kind of caught my eye a little bit. I know Aleister Black had a 17-second squash match against somebody. I thought that was kind of, what was the point? You know, what was the point in that? I just shrugged, like, okay, and like, and the guy that was facing him, that was just stupid booking right there. Aleister Black is just sitting down, got his knees crossed and everything, and he's looking as if my man just sat down and he started playing with a Rubik's Cube or some shit, and he's wondering what he's doing. Like, hey, if he wants to sit on his ass and he wants to have his legs crossed like an Indian, I say kick the shit out of him and try to go for a quick pin. So I didn't really like how that match was particularly booked. Trying to think if there's anything else. If there's another match in there from Raw you want me to comment on, offer some thoughts on, I'll gladly comment. But yeah, it really wasn't much there for me. Just going through the motions for Monday Night Raw. Already told you guys NXT AEW did not check out, so I'm not going to even come on here and, you know, good show, bad show. I know everybody is talking about the New Jack episode that went down from Dark Side of the Ring. And I love you guys tremendously. I love and respect you guys that are New Jack fans and everything. I got to tell you something. Nothing personal, but New Jack. And see, you would have thought that, as a brother myself, that New Jack, I'd be into his shit and all that. But yeah, I never could get into New Jack, even when I finally was able to watch ECW. I can remember being a young teenager when ECW was on the first go round. And my mom, who was a big wrestling fan, I remember the one time I tried to watch ECW, she said, "No, you're not watching that. Not in this." It was. By then it was extreme. I mean, bloody and all that. She's like, "No, you're not watching that." So sadly, there was a big bulk of the original run of ECW I missed when I was a teenager. And then, you know, years later, young adulthood, I'm able to go back and I'm able to check out ECW and see what all I had missed and everything. If it wasn't in my young adult years, then I would know what was going on with ECW when it came to picking up the Pro Wrestling Illustrated and a couple of those other magazines, basically. But I remember in my young adult years when I finally was able to see ECW and I was able to come across the content for New Jack. New Jack was somebody that honestly I just wasn't really. I didn't care. I didn't particularly care. Tolerated it, but I didn't particularly care. And I know there's a lot of people that are mad New Jack fans. But for me, it went from, I don't particularly care about him, but to each its own, to I don't give a damn. And the latter kicked in with the infamous, and I like how everybody has their New Jack story, and I'm not singling anybody out, but I know New Jack has a lot of praise. Everybody's praising that episode. I refuse to give anything New Jack related the time or the day for one simple reason. I remember the infamous words that he had to say about Jerry the King Lawler when he had his heart attack. Canada, Monday Night Raw. How soon we forget. Everybody else is just... I was paying attention when Dark Side was on this week. I was paying attention, seeing what everybody was saying and everything. And there was a whole lot of... And I gotta tell you something. And I would not be consistent otherwise. You can easily go back. You can look at the last 4 shows for that month when Jerry Lawler had his heart attack and everything. And you might even be able to find some of the stuff that I had said on social media. But I remember when Jerry Lawler had the heart attack and everything, New Jack took to social media, and I'm paraphrasing, but he basically said, oh, Jerry Lawler had his heart attack? Well, fuck that piece of shit. He's a racist piece of shit anyway. Good for his ass. He could burn in hell. All that crap he was saying. Now, look. I'm not defending what New Jack said, and I damn sure ain't defending Jerry Lawler by any stretch. Disclosure. Me and the missus did meet Jerry Lawler at AwesomeCon a couple of years back. And that actually was kind of funny how it came about. She will actually tell you. First time we see Jerry Lawler, we're walking around, we're trying to get shots of stuff, you get an idea of, okay, let's shoot here. And she goes, oh, hon, it's Jerry Lawler. I go, well, let's go say hello. I said, nah, I'm okay. And she's like, why? I'm like, I'm good. He's probably busy. And I knew damn well he wasn't busy. I didn't want to bother him. So it did kind of rattle me a little bit what New Jack had said. And so we go about our thing at AwesomeCon. And then about 40 minutes later, we come on back and she goes, hey, there's Jerry Lawler. I'm like, oh, yeah, cool. Oh, hey, I didn't know he had a booth here. Yeah, apparently he does. Well, come on, let's go over there. And I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. And she's like, oh, come on. I'm like, oh, all right. So, I go on over there. We're taking a look at his artwork and everything. She strikes up a conversation with him. I never did ask her what the hell her and Jerry were talking about. But finally, she brings me on over there. She wants to take a picture. And I remember whispering to her, like, you sure about this? She goes, come on, it's Jerry Lawler. I'm like, okay. Why can't you get excited? Like, I don't know, but okay, sure. So, you get this, you get this infamous photo of me smiling with freaking Jerry Lawler, and you just look at the way I'm smiling. I just have this look on my face, like I really don't want to be doing this. But no, he came off nice. He came off very cordial. You're not gonna find me say anything negative about that whole experience. I honestly, I didn't want to bother the man. I did not want to bother him. And what New Jack said about Jerry Lawler was in my mind. But I don't care if I got beef with you. I don't care. I just don't care. I'm not going to wish death upon you. Everybody has their limits. I don't care what you do to me, what you say to me. I'm not going to wish death on you. So when New Jack went there with Jerry Lawler, for me, that just, okay. Yeah, man, I can't. Nah. So I left that alone. I'm sure the episode was good. I'm looking forward to the other episodes that Darkside's got coming up. And I actually saw the number of episodes that they got coming out for this season. And I gotta say, once again, it's kind of sad because we had Evan Husney, one of the producers on the show. And everybody else is talking about how, Evan had spoken to these people and these people and this. And it's like, and that's the problem right there. Something that I was saying to Julian last week. It's a damn shame that when it comes to the Ma and Pa podcast, you could consider me a Ma and Pa podcast, even though I've been putting in almost 10 years as of next year. We'll have been doing this for 10 years consecutively. It's sad because all the interviews that we've done over the years and other podcasts that are Ma and Pa podcasts as well, and they do their respected interviews and everything. It's sad that some of these wrestling news media outlets do not pick up on what, hey, so-and-so said on, this podcast. It's almost gotten to that point now where unless you're a Dave Meltzer or insert whatever name, PW Insider or whatever, insert whatever name you want to insert. Unless you're Sports Illustrated or one of these guys, it's, you don't exist to us, because at this point, we're more interested in getting ourselves over than putting over the Ma and Pa podcast. And it's really fucking sad, because one of the things that freaking got picked up that did not get picked up. My conversation with Evan, we were talking about how production had affected this season of Dark Side of the Ring. And the other thing that we had talked about was Kevin Sullivan. There was not enough traction that was coming about with regards to Kevin Sullivan's involvement or lack of involvement with that season premiere episode of Chris Benoit and everything. And it put a smile on my face, however, to know that coming up this weekend, Jim Cornette is actually going to be sitting down with Kevin Sullivan, and they're going to go all in depth. They're going to go all in depth about the abuse allegations, lack of his involvement in the Dark Side of the Ring premiere on Benoit, whole 9 yards. So I am looking forward to that, and I am a fan of Jim Cornette, a big fan. I listen to him. Now, look, I don't agree with everything that he says. There's been many times on this show that I have come on here and I've said, hey, not feeling this. But that one in particular, I am looking forward to it. I am looking forward to seeing, what he's got to say. Because curious minds, they want to know. And in this day and age that we're in right now, when you hear that, oh man, this woman was physically abused by this guy, and just combine everything with the Me Too movement, all that shit that's going on, yeah, a guy like Kevin Sullivan isn't exactly kosher. So if there was ever a time and a place where all eyes are watching and you got all this buzz that's out there, if there was ever a time, it's interesting too, because I actually had tried to get out in the open, because Rob Feinstein of our video, he brought it up. And I wasn't trying to do a gotcha moment with him or anything like that, but he openly was talking about the Dark Side of the Ring on Benoit, and he gave just a tiny little bit of a window. He opened it up just a little bit, the whole Sullivan situation and everything. And I asked him, you can go back and you can see it yourself. I asked him, I said, hey, I'm like, you've had the opportunity to interview him a couple of times for shoots and all that. What is your 2 cents from a distance about the stuff going on with the abuse allegations and everything? And Rob, I honestly believe if Rob knew something, I think Rob would have been one of the first to either do a video or put something out there on social media. Rob said something along the lines of, hey, as far as from a business standpoint, working with him, a delight to work with. But at the same time, he said something along the lines of, you never know what happens with a person behind closed doors in their own home. And that's the truth. That is the absolute truth. You just don't know. Some people put on a really good game when they're out in public, and then behind closed doors, it's a completely different story. But then you got some instances where a motherfucker is just, yeah, I'm like this. Yeah, I'm out in public, and what? Fuck you. What you see is what you get. Perfect example. Me and the missus, what was it? 2 nights ago, I think it was. 2 nights ago, she picked me up from work, and we actually went to go do some grocery shopping. Now, how weird is that, right? Like, here I am working retail, and I'm not buying groceries where I work. She told me, she fucked my head up. She told me this story about how when she worked in retail like 20 years ago, some weird shit had went down and she got accused of stealing. I'm going, you steal? I'm like, no. She's like, exactly. Saying, I had my receipt, whatever. Like, yeah, I'm not doing that. If we're going to buy stuff, just buy from another store. So we went to this other store a couple of nights ago. Stay with me now. Stay with me because it connects to what I just talked about. So we bought our groceries. We come out. There's a boyfriend and girlfriend. They're yelling at each other. And it was really, really bad. The girl was fussy. She was fussy because the bags of groceries that she was trying to put in the car, apparently the shit wasn't loaded up right or whatever. They packed it themselves, but apparently she didn't load up something right. And the boyfriend is, yelling at her. I mean, it was bad. And then they brought up the fact that they could not find toilet paper. And, she's saying to him, matter of fact, because I got to make sure I got the story just right. Matter of fact, this is one time I got to bring in the missus because I was just going, Matter of fact, I was humming the Crash Test Dummy song. I was just trying to hurry up and get the fuck up out of there. But you know what? Let's have her make a cameo real quick. Because I want her to tell you the story because it was hilarious. Let's crank her up a little bit here. See if we can get her here. I'm sure we can get her. Pick up. Pick up, honey. Pick up. See, it's ringing, but she's not picking up. Oh. I wanted her. See if we can. We'll try one more time. She's still up. I'm here moving around. Get to the phone. Nah, I don't think she's gonna pick up, guys. Nah, she ain't gonna pick up. But anyway, dude act like fucking Ike Turner. Dude act like he was ready to knock the shit out of her. I mean, he had the bass. He was yelling at her. When it came to the tissue and just the way the groceries were packed, I remember at one point he said, "No fucking problem is that? Whose fault is that?" I mean, he looked like he was ready to deck her ass right there in the middle of the fucking parking lot, right? So, I mean, to that whole point, you just never know. Some people, they know how to put on a really good disguise out in public, and then behind closed doors, it's a completely different scenario. So, with regards to the shit there on Kevin Sullivan, this is the only thing. I really wish, and to my knowledge, it never happened. But I wish that Kevin Sullivan would have immediately put out a statement after the premiere of this episode. To be in this position of 2+ weeks have passed. Well, no, not really, because the premiere was last week, right? So really a week and a days, it's a couple of days. So you could almost say, about a week and a half has almost gone by since that episode, and you've been silent. You did not put out any type of a statement or let people see you in the flesh and do some type of a video or whatever. If something is not true, or if you just want to clear the air, just tell your side of the story. You're gonna be on top of that ASAP. And usually you have this saying about, well, hey, this person was pretty agitated. This person came off extremely upset that so-and-so was brought up, and why is this person so mad, if it's not true. Well, there is such thing as an individual that is so hurt by something that is downright untrue about them that it works them up so much because they think about how much cachet they have built with friends, family, employers, you name it. At the end of the day, me, you, everybody around the world, a lot of times when you get right down to it, the one thing that we have is our word. Our word is basically our brand. It's connected to us. We all are our own brands. And so when you have something that comes your way that is not true, You want to hurry up and put yourself in front of that, and you want to set the record straight. And for me, with Sullivan, I really wish that as soon as that episode had premiered, if there was ever a time to capitalize, I wish that as soon as he knew the release date of that episode, him, his significant other, whoever, lawyer, whoever, publicist, whoever, sat down, had a statement ready to go. And either he released it through acquaintance on social media, released it that way, or take to YouTube, Twitter, whatever, release it that way, and then be one and done. But when you let it just brew and it almost reminds me of the Unsung episode on Johnny Gill. I love Unsung. Y'all know how much I'm a big fan of that. Matter of fact, the one that they did this past weekend on Bill Parker, it was all right. I mean, other than Mrs. Jones, it's kind of like, what else you got? Yeah, I didn't particularly care for the rest of his songs. But, it's almost kind of like the one episode that they did on him, because I see there was a connection and I already forgot. You guys got to forgive me. That happens. We're live on the air. My brain is going all over the place. I have no notes tonight. I just got bullet points in my head and we're just pretty much running through it there. I'm sure the connection there. Why? Oh, that's why. That's why. When something is not true. Forgive me. When something is not true. So there was an Unsung episode on Johnny Gill. And anybody that was a big fan of Johnny Gill, y'all know that for years upon years upon years, there were rumors that Johnny Gill was gay. And rather than Johnny Gill, way back when, get in front of a story like that, a rumor, rather than get in front of it and say, nah, that's not true. Here's what's up, blah, 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 blah. And you could just see the pain on his face and the disgust that all these years, all these decades that went by and people were still questioning his sexuality. And you even had, one report, Johnny Gill has AIDS and all that other shit, untrue. So, there's something to be learned here. When your name is, or even if, worst case scenario, say Kevin Sullivan did used to be abusive to Nancy Benoit. Hey, you know what? Yes, it's true. I was in a much different place mentally, spiritually, way back then. Guys, we're talking like almost 20 something years ago. I'm not that person anymore. My current wife will tell you, my friends and family, they'll tell you I'm no longer like that. And if anything, I'm more of a religious person. I'm one of the kindest people you'll ever come across, yada, 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 yada. But when you don't get in front of it, so I'm very curious to see what's going to be happening with him on Jim Cornette this weekend. That actually should be pretty good. So it looks like going back to AEW, for the matches for the TNT Championship Tournament, those been revealed. So you had the Kip Sabian taking on Dustin Rhodes and Lance Archer taking on Colt Cabana. They'll join Cody versus Shawn Spears and Darby Allin versus Sammy Guevara as the opening matches for that tournament. So those are your brackets as it stands right now. And I'm curious who's going to win that. Honestly, just kind of looking at it right now, looking at the brackets, I can see Lance Archer in the finals. And, do you maybe go with Cody? Makes sense, right? Do you maybe go with Cody and Lance Archer in the finals? Lance Archer goes over. Something to think about, something to marinate on. I hear that Darby Allin went heel, apparently, based on what happened with this week's Dynamite. I can't really comment further. I got to actually watch the episode and see what happened. I'm hoping at this point they got AEW Dynamite. I don't think they do with Verizon Fios. So you Verizon Fios customers, I'll have to rely on you more if you guys are checking out Dynamite on demand. But to my knowledge, There is no Dynamite on demand. Maybe there is. I'll have to see for myself this weekend. But let's get into some more little wrestling tidbits here. I'll tell you what, let's talk WrestleMania. We got WrestleMania coming up this weekend. Let's take a look at the final card. We can go over some preview and predictions and see what we got coming up. Again, no spoilers. We're not spoiling it for you guys. We're just going to talk about the card as it stands right now of the matches. And I'll give you guys my projected winners. So if you guys already know what's going on as far as winners, please be respectful, especially to those in the chat. Don't spoil. Just keep the comments to yourself. And honestly, if you already know who's winning and maybe you don't want to sit through this, I would say come back in about 10 minutes because they've got like 16 freaking matches. I wish I was kidding. They got 16 freaking matches that is on the docket so far. All right, let's get through this as quickly as possible here. All right, 16 matches. Let's go. We got Otis taking on Dolph Ziggler. Let me come back to that one. Kabuki Warriors taking on Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. Tag match for the WWE Women's Tag Titles. Bliss and Cross. That's exactly how it's feeling. Don't get me wrong. I love what's been going on with the Kabuki Warriors, especially with Asuka. She's really been tearing it up as a personality. I've been liking it, even though I haven't really been understanding the damn thing she's been saying. I've really been relying on WWE Japan on social media to translate what Asuka's been saying. I love everything about the Kabuki Warriors. I really, really have. But it really feels like the writing is on the wall. Bliss, Cross. And I'm disappointed in that because to see the Kabuki Warriors play down, because that's literally what they've been doing. They're playing down to Bliss and Cross. Look, Cross, I still see a lot of big things for as a singles girl. I see a lot of big things for her. Bliss, for me, Bliss was better as a heel. This babyface, Alexa Bliss, it does nothing for me whatsoever. Absolutely nothing. But to see Kabuki Warriors play down to these girls, it breaks my heart. It really, really does. Because I know what the Kabuki Warriors are really capable of. But I'm seeing Bliss and Nikki Cross. I hope I'm wrong. I really do. I would love to see the Kabuki Warriors come out reigning supreme at WrestleMania. Let's go back to Otis and Dolph Ziggler. I'm going to say Ziggler. I'm going to go with Ziggler. Sami Zayn defends the Intercontinental Championship. So he's going to be defending it against Daniel Bryan. Am I seeing this right? He's going to be defending it against Daniel Bryan. But how much of a factor is Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura going to play? And will Daniel Bryan get enough help from Drew Gulak if that numbers game over on Sami's side interferes a bit too much? That's the real question there. Sami Zayn defends the Intercontinental Championship against Daniel Bryan. That's an interesting one. I'm going to say Sami Zayn retains. And if you're following the storyline, Drew Gulak is essentially telling Daniel Bryan, hey, look, not only have I learned a lot about you over the years and studying you, because it was a big part of me early in my career that wanted to be just like you and everything, but there's a lot of things that I can do that's better than what you're doing right now. And we kind of see this Daniel Bryan kind of looking to Gulak now for approval and guidance and everything. And, it almost kind of feels like Rocky and Apollo Creed. It almost kind of feels like that type of friendship to a certain degree. I could honestly, just following the storyline, keeping it very simplistic, see Drew Gulak saying to Daniel Bryan, dude, you know, you almost had it there, but you messed up in these couple of areas right here. You know, look, let me show you how it's done. I'm going to show you where the holes were in your game. And I bet you, if I get an opportunity to take on Sami Zayn for the title, I bet you I can get the job done. And these are the reasons why. So that kind of makes a little bit of sense. And besides, why not have Sami Zayn have a little WrestleMania moment there? You can always have him drop the strap on that following SmackDown. Edge takes on Randy Orton, last man standing match. I got to go with Edge, hands down. Come on. How can you go against Edge? Come on. Edge, hands down. He's got that. Remember what I said a couple of weeks ago? Spot there with Beth Phoenix. I know some women, they couldn't really subtract fact, fiction. Some women just felt that was a little bit too much to see a female get assaulted by a male wrestler there, even though everything was strictly for entertainment purposes. These are trained professionals and everything. You know, Beth Phoenix is going to come in there and she's going to get her comeuppance. Come on. Seriously, man. Edge, I got him over Orton. Elias takes on King Corbin. First of all, my man falls from that little structure, hits concrete, and he's going to show up for this match, huh? Alright, whatever. Whatever. Oh my God. Does this include the ridiculous camera angles that we got from last week's SmackDown too? Every 2 seconds, if I counted it right, the camera just kept panning, like different angle when Elias was getting ready to fall off that little high beam structure, platform structure, or wherever it is where he and Corbin were fighting. You would like to believe that with a guy that fell and hit hard concrete, he damn sure ain't at 100%. I'm going to go with King Corbin. King Corbin has been eating a couple of shit sandwiches. One particular shit sandwich he kept eating for months and months. The feud there with Roman Reigns, although they did a really good feud, but he needs a... Give him a little bone. You know, give him a thank you. Give him a little something. King Corbin. Aleister Black takes on Lashley. That's a tricky one. I'm going to go with Aleister Black. No particular reason. I'm going to go with Aleister Black. Street Profits take on Austin Theory and Angel Garza. Tag match for the Raw Tag Team Championships. Now, there was a match there with Street Profits and Kevin Owens taking on Seth, Garza, and Theory from Raw this week. I am aware of that. Here's the thing. I watched little bits and pieces, but I didn't see that match all the way. You know why? I was over on AMC checking out Better Call Saul, so for me, I can't really tell you based off what went down Monday night. You understand what I'm saying? So for me, Street Profits taking on Austin Theory and Angel Garza, tag match for the Raw Tag Title. That should actually be a pretty good matchup. I think that might be a sleeper hit for the fans. I'm going to go with Street Profits because when it's all said and done, look, Austin Theory, Garza, you guys, y'all are smart fans. Y'all should be able to, and I say that respectfully, y'all should be able to see that at this time right now where you need talent to help you out with some of these shows, you know, WWE is doing what it can to try to make up for their lack of major stars and get whoever they can get that's willing to step up and everything. And that's going to score some of these guys' health still remaining intact down the road. that's going to score some of these guys some brownie points, because you just don't forget shit like that. Hey, I remember when we had this going on. Who was it that stepped up? And oh yeah, Austin Theory. Yeah, he stepped up when we really. Angel Garza. Yeah, man, he really stepped up when we really needed. So, Street Profits for the retain. They'll still be your Raw Tag Champions. Miz and Morrison defend the SmackDown Tag Titles in a triple threat match, taking on New Day and the Usos. Miz and Morrison all the way. Kevin Owens taking on Seth Rollins. Didn't they kind of tease this one? Didn't they kind of already spoiled it? Because they said something along the lines of Kevin Owens, he's batting a pretty poor average when it comes to WrestleMania moments. Like, he doesn't have a WrestleMania win under his belt, I think is what they had said. But his WrestleMania record, we know this for a fact, his WrestleMania record is bad compared to Seth Rollins. So the fact that they were talking about WrestleMania records, that really leads me to believe that Kevin Owens is going to pick up the W on this one. Where there will be interference, though, from guys like Buddy Murphy and Razier and Akeem from AOP. Are they going to be helping out here? And then if so, how do you balance that out? Now, if you're kind of keeping up with the consistency, then you got to go back to what went down on Monday Night Raw, where the Street Profits had teamed up with KO. So if AOP, Buddy Murphy are trying to do a little something in that match, then you're kind of left to the impression that, well, surely KO is going to get some help from the Street Profits, from Austin Theory. Push come to shove. Makes all the sense in the world, right? So regardless, interference or not, I'm going to go with Kevin Owens over Rollins. Undertaker over AJ Styles, Boneyard match. Come on. Y'all already know we teased it a little bit earlier. I'm going to go with Taker. Bayley defending the SmackDown Women's Championship against Foghorn Leghorn Lacey Evans, Naomi, Sasha Banks, and Tamina. I love me some Tamina. Process of elimination, though, we can take out Tamina. Take out Naomi. I'm just not seeing Lacey Evans, not with this current gimmick of hers. I'm just not seeing it yet. So could Sasha pull an upset here? Or will Bayley continue to have her moment as a champion? Sasha Banks. I'm going to go with Sasha Banks as the SmackDown Women's Champion. Go to your next episode of SmackDown. You got a pissed off Bayley. Bayley just really putting in the hurting on a Sasha Banks. Maybe in that process, you kind of have Sasha flip. Might work out this go round. Wouldn't hurt to at least experiment, see if it'll work out. I say go for it. Bayley needs to continue to stay heel is the point that I'm making, though. I don't think you need to have both her and Sasha as heels. So, will we actually get Bayley and Sasha Banks as a program? That's what I'm most curious about, because WWE was kind of teasing this, what was it, last year or some shit like that? And it never came to fruition, so now you can't help but wonder, well, if it's really even going to go down this go round. Time will tell. John Cena takes on The Fiend. Firefly Funhouse match. That's the other match that I'm looking forward to. Aside from AJ taking on Taker, definitely looking forward to Cena taking on Bray Wyatt. Firefly Funhouse match. Bray Wyatt, hands down. Look, can't say anything bad about John Cena. John Cena, especially this stage in his career, always willing to do the right thing. Always willing to help a brother or a sister out. Cena got my respect for this one, and I ain't even seen the match yet. But we already know Cena's gonna do the deed, man. And shout out to him. Bray Wyatt, hands down. Alright, Becky Lynch, Shayna Baszler, Raw Women's Championship. Shayna. I'm going to go with Shayna, guys. I got to go with Shayna. I'm liking Shayna. Goldberg takes on Roman Reigns. Well, apparently that match is no more. At least not for Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns has officially pulled himself out of WrestleMania and WWE programming for the foreseeable future. Look, no spoilers, but I've shared with you guys off and on my thoughts about how I don't think we should be having WrestleMania. I told you guys I think it should be postponed until later in the summer or whatever, but given what's going on currently, hey, WWE is still doing what they're doing. So to know that Roman Reigns is no longer in this match, not going to be involved in WWE programming in the future, I put the idea out last week, as a matter of fact. I said, look, the way you could kind of make up for this, you could have John Cena take on The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, in that Firefly Funhouse match, and the winner of that advances to face Goldberg for the championship. Makes a lot of sense. You could easily just go in that direction. And then, how cool would that be? How badass would that be? You see The Fiend right back in the title picture. There's a lot of fans that honestly, hey man, this guy should have never lost it. This guy was such a hot commodity and everything. And when we're talking about Roman Reigns, I'm sure by now you all have seen the Instagram video that he posted. And if you haven't, go out of your way, check it out. You don't need to have Instagram to see what he had posted, but it's basically a 3-minute video. And he pretty much addresses all of the stuff that had went down and everything. And look, I've always been a Roman Reigns fan. At the same time, and that's consistent. That's not me getting on some bandwagon. I've been consistent with my take on Roman Reigns. I've always complimented him on his matches and everything. If I've ever been down on Roman Reigns, I've definitely been vocal about how, man, this guy's being forced down our throats. You know, let him have a scenic route. And finally that scenic route came. Just unfortunately, his health tied into it and everything. But y'all remember the infamous night that we came on here? I think it was the Monday night or the day after Raw, and I think the title of that episode was, what was it? The day Roman Reigns finally won the fans over. The night Roman Reigns finally won the fans over, except he didn't really do it as Roman Reigns. It was basically he won it as himself, you know, his real name and everything. So I like the video that he had posted on Instagram. You know, there was a lot of speculation. A lot of people thought something was going on with his leukemia. All types of stuff was put out there. And I actually had got into it with a few people on social media because people took what I had said the wrong way. And you know, they wanted to act as though they were of some type of authority, that they knew that, you know, Roman's leukemia and all this other shit. And what I said on social media was, hey, they wouldn't have had this problem if they stuck with Bray. And that opened up the floodgates because some people, you know, you stupid fucking idiot. His leukemia. And I said, I get it. You're a Roman Reigns fan. I'm a Roman Reigns fan as well. But come on. This is more so WWE's fault. The fact that they were willing to jeopardize one of their top talents, jeopardize his health, his well-being, twice now he has kicked leukemia's ass, put it into remission. And you're trying to put him and his health in this position where you're having him perform. For what? Ain't no fans in attendance. All in the name of him jeopardizing his health. Lands in the hospital. God knows what could possibly happen while he's in the hospital. And or worse, he gives the COVID-19 to his kids or somebody in his family, basically. No, that just shows a lack of, and it's sad because you could tell when you're interacting with young kids and all that on social media, and a lot of the people that were coming my way. You know, that's the thing. I don't say anything out of malice. I never say anything out of hate. Whenever I say something on Twitter, see, it's not my job to post part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5, part 6, part 7 of a long ass thread on Twitter. Twitter, you gotta be quick with it, you gotta be savvy about it, and you gotta pretty much direct, make your point. For me, I remember when this whole outbreak stuff, right when it had went down, and I actually commented to this one person about it. I said, look, I think I said going into the weekend of March. As a matter of fact, let me look at the calendar real quick here. And I can tell you, I got my calendar right here. Yeah, so I basically had said, okay, look, right after the week of March the 9th, before that weekend was out, really, if you want to get technical, the weekend of March 6th, but damn sure the weekend of March 13th, people were already getting the ball rolling about COVID-19, taking all the precautions and all that other shit. I'm talking about employers specifically. So for WWE, Vince McMahon, I'm looking at you, to just procrastinate, trying to make it be business as usual. And then the more information that we learn, the more serious that, oh man, this is some fucked up shit that's going on with this COVID stuff. Yeah, we probably, but WWE, they just, and so, you know, honestly, the minute that it was decided that now we're going to go ahead and push forward, your top elite stars should have been contacted. And do you want to do this? If you want to back out, totally understand. No problem whatsoever. But look, it is what it is now. So Roman's out. Hopefully they go in those directions. One name that jumps out at me that is not on this WrestleMania card, and I'm quite taken back that he is not on this card whatsoever, and that is Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman is nowhere on this fucking card. So another thing that you could do, if you decide you don't want to have John Cena take on Bray Wyatt, and the winner of that faces Goldberg for the title, then you could slide in Braun Strowman to take on Bill Goldberg for the Universal title. I'd be okay with that. Now, let's deal with the scenarios here. Again, these matches have already went down. I'm just not spoiling the card. We're not going to tell you guys the winners. But if it were me, I would look at this two different ways. If you have it set up where John Cena takes on Wyatt, winner goes on to face Goldberg, then I would say Wyatt takes on Goldberg. Who comes out of that as the winner? I say put it on Wyatt. However, if you're not doing that type of a match, and instead you got Goldberg taking on Braun Strowman for the Universal title, Goldberg. Any other time, I would entertain the idea of Strowman, but Strowman's recent comments that we talked about 2 weeks ago on the show, people setting up GoFundMes, Kickstarters, and all that, taking the shit on indie wrestlers, doing that type of stuff, that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. I just, how do you reward piss poor behavior like that on social media? Bad timing for stuff like that. We talked about it, me and the missus. We talked about that on an episode of Wrestling with the Topics. You guys remember that. Not feeling that. So I would say if it's Strowman taking on Goldberg, Goldberg retains. The odds are looking pretty damn good that Goldberg is going to be coming out still the champion. I gotta say, I'd be shocked. I really would be shocked if he comes out of there still the champion. But the odds are looking pretty damn good. Lesnar takes on Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship. Let me come back to that match. Rhea Ripley takes on Charlotte Flair for the NXT Women's Championship. Rhea Ripley. Lesnar versus McIntyre. Oh, man. Guys, I am stumped on that one. I am so freaking stumped on that one. I'm gonna bite the bullet. McIntyre wins. There's something that's just screaming Lesnar, but I'm gonna go with McIntyre. All right, let's kick it off from the bottom to the top again. I got Otis over Ziggler, Bliss and Cross over Kabuki Warriors, Sami retains the Intercontinental Championship, Edge over Orton, King Corbin over Elias, Aleister Black over Lashley, Street Profits retaining the tag titles over Austin Theory, Angel Garza. Miz and Morrison retain their tag titles in the ladder match against New Day and the Usos. Interesting, I got both tag teams retaining. Let me just look at that one more time there. That's very interesting that I got both tag teams retaining there. I'm going to stick to it. Owens over Rollins, Taker over AJ Styles, Sasha Banks as your new SmackDown Women's Champion, Wyatt over Cena, Baszler over Lynch, Goldberg, it depends. Goldberg retains over Braun Strowman, if it is Braun Strowman that slides in there. Or, makes a lot more sense if you got Cena taking on Wyatt, and the winner of that faces Goldberg for the title, then I'm saying Wyatt, or The Fiend, advances to face Goldberg. Wyatt comes out of there on top. So you got to put an asterisk by it, and you got to lay it out just like that. You have to. See, Shayna Baszler over Lynch. We already talked about that. McIntyre over Lesnar to become the new WWE Champion. Ripley retains the NXT Women's Championship. All right, so that's how we are setting it up here. All right, so that looks pretty good. Let's get into some Patreon shout-outs here. Shout out to Patreon members Sean Kenter. Shout out to Freddie R. Freddie! Shout out to Justin Ripstock. Shout out to John Krauser. Shout out to Michael Wolf. Shout out to John Davis. Also, special shout out to my man Tony Bing Gaming. Want the very latest in all things Marvel Super War, Marvel Strike Force, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. Tony Bing Gaming. He's got tips, tricks, walkthroughs, news, reviews. Great YouTube channel. Check him out. Tony Bing Gaming. He's got an awesome Patreon paywall as well. And we'll get into some more shout outs in just a hot second. Hey, we got an unveiling to do. So this is actually from WWEshop.com. And this is something I'm actually going to be wearing Wrestlemania night. If you hear me sniffling, my allergies are just acting up. So bear with me here. Yeah, so WWE Shop, they had a really cool deal that was going on where you were able to buy t-shirts for a limited time that day. It was last week that they actually did this, matter of fact. And you were able to buy t-shirts as low as $10 or whatever. Of course, you got to make sure you throw in shipping. So they had a lot of cool retro shirts that's on there. And it was funny because my girl said, whose shirt would you buy? And I told her, I said, I don't know. Like, I told her, I said, looking at, the current flock of new stars that's out there, there's nobody's shirt that makes me want to, as far as in the WWE, there's nobody that I gotta get their shirt. And the funny thing is, I actually saw a couple of really cool Fiend shirts. And I said, wow, I could see myself pushing that. That looks pretty badass. But I actually went old school. And I want to show you guys. This is badass. I want to show you guys this. And I remember back in the day, me and my friends in high school, we collected us some WWE Attitude shirts. And this shirt in particular, I always wanted to own. My friend had this shirt, or at least a similar version to this, and I always wanted this shirt. And so I went old school. Here. Here we go. Show this to you guys. All right, so I went old school. I went Triple H here. How badass is that? And then on the back, it says, screw the rules, play the game. Let me flip that over. So that's pretty badass. Hopefully you guys can see it here. It's pretty badass. Let me show you guys the front one more time. So I will be wearing this on WrestleMania night. I'll probably be wearing that on the first night. We'll wait and see. And I'm just now watching where you guys are seeing the shirt for the first time, because there's at least maybe a 2-minute delay, and I can see you guys are able to see the shirt pretty good. So that's awesome. Yeah, so I was able to get that for $10. Of course, there was like a little bit of tax, add in a little bit of shipping. So basically my order came to, I think it was about like $15 or $16 or something like that. And they shipped it pretty fast, because I remember when I ordered the shirt. Of course, that shirt came with a wager too. It was hilarious because I told my girl, I said, you should get me something from WWE's shop as a way of saying, congrats on getting the new job, baby. And I told her, I said, I'd be good for the rest of the year. So she could see that bullshit. I said, no, I'd be good for the rest of the year. So we have a wager going on right now, which is basically, if I can make it until my birthday. Well, she doesn't think I can make it until my birthday before I say, hey, hon, get this for me. And she says that if I break it, if I don't make it to my birthday, then I have to give her $100. Okay, that's a good stipulation. I'll take it. And then she goes, okay, so what about if you are able to make it? What do you win? What do you want? I'm like, I don't know yet. Let me get back to you. So that's a nice, fun little stipulation that we got going on right now. So, yeah, but, I got a Stone Cold shirt. Maybe one of these days I'll break it out. I don't think I've yet to wear it since I've been doing these shows. I don't think I've worn it yet. I got this really cool, kind of like a silk jersey type of Stone Cold shirt. It's black and blue. He's in the center. And I think he's throwing up a middle finger or whatever. And there's something on the back. I can't remember what it is. It's not Austin 316. It's something else. I also had a Triple H King of Kings shirt where it was just a skull. And the skull was wearing like a crown. Somewhere in this house I got that. I'm pretty sure I got a... Yes, I do. I have The Rock Boots to Asses. I've got that shirt. I've still got my CM Punk WWE 2K13 shirt. I know many of you guys remember that shirt. That was an awesome shirt to have. Fucking badass. Got that one. Pretty sure I got a DX shirt. Pretty damn sure I got a DX shirt. I got like one of the original DX shirts. Let's see. What else I got? There's a ton of other wrestling shirts. I haven't seen them in so many years. That's the thing. I haven't seen them in so many years. So it's going to be fun kind of digging them up and, and bring back some really cool memories and all that good shit. All right, so we got a couple more tidbits we can get into here. I say at this point, we'll probably go about maybe 10 more minutes, and then we'll call it a night. As far as programming notes, though, like I said, things are starting to get back to normal here. I just had to break in the new job and get used to the new schedule with working them and then working the morning job. So for me, it's like a full freaking 8 hours basically that I'm doing. But programming notes, I am going to be live with you guys Saturday. Actually, Tammy's going to be joining me. I was running it by her and she said, shit, let's do it. So she's actually going to be with me both WrestleMania nights. So we're going to do your WrestleMania post show Saturday night. We're going to have your WrestleMania post show on Sunday night right here on YouTube. So look forward to that. That's going to be good. And then, of course, like I said at the top of the show, things will be back to normal. Monday show, you guys will definitely get the Monday show. A little couple of tidbits I want to dive into before we get ready to wrap it up here. One thing I want to bring to y'all's attention, I don't see a lot of people mentioning this. I wouldn't be surprised if we were one of the first people to mention this, but Koko B. Ware, he launched a GoFundMe as he needs help with knee replacement surgery. Look, not telling you guys give him money. I'm just bringing it to you all's attention. If you are in a position where COVID-19 has not affected you, I will tell you, like I would tell anybody that's a close, near and dear friend or a family member of mine, take care of you first. Take care of you, your family, your loved ones first. Your well-being and all that is first. If you are, key word, if you are in a position where you can financially help somebody out, you want to help somebody out, you have fond memories of Koko B. Ware, he launched a GoFundMe campaign as he needs help with knee replacement surgery. So you guys can check that out. The goal is to hit $10,000. At the time that we're doing the show right now, Koko was able to raise a little bit over $2,000. So that's not bad whatsoever. If you were to ask me, Lee, are you going to be donating to Koko? Yes, I will definitely be donating. There is a little short bio too. I can actually read it to you. This was created on March 20th, by the way. Today, WWE legend and Hall of Famer Koko B. Ware is coming to his caring. Yeah, am I reading this right? Today, WWE legend and Hall of Famer Koko B. Ware is coming to his caring fans to ask for some help. Koko needs a knee replacement desperately. With no insurance, Koko has to foot the bill 100%. Koko entertained us for many, many years as one of the greatest legends in wrestling. He gave his all every single night in that ring. Koko still loves to be out and about, meeting and greeting all his fans. And this critical knee replacement will make that possible for Koko to come to a city near you and have the awesome meet and greets that Koko makes special. Koko is not asking for much, just your loving donation of whatever it may be that you can give. Every dollar helps Koko to reach his goal. Thank you for your love and support. So $10,000, he's trying to get the knee replacement surgery and everything. So, whatever you could donate. You want to do 10, you want to do 20, whatever you could donate. I'm sure they would appreciate it. And it's always sad when you see wrestlers that, are doing this type of stuff. And one of the first questions that one would ask is, well, shit, why not just go get, Medicare? Or, why not go, insert whatever. And, your guess is as good as mine. Was it a case where the attempt was made to try something like that and, they were denied, why were they denied exactly? Your guess is as good as mine when it comes to stuff like that. But this is kind of one of those instances where you kind of have to take two steps back and really look at things from a 360 perspective. And one of the first questions you got to ask yourself is, okay, well, have I heard this wrestler involved in any type of controversy? over the years, if I heard of this wrestler being intoxicated while driving or some stupid little shit like that, and it's no. And matter of fact, I remember, if I remember it right, maybe I'm thinking Kamala. I could have sworn Coco Beware had put out a book. I could have sworn Coco Beware had put out a book. I could be wrong on that. I know Kamala did, but I could have sworn something. There was some book that came out of Coco, but I might be wrong. But anyway, 10,000. That's not really asking for much. If you guys are able to give. And I'm like this: if you don't have money to give, then do the next best thing. Just share the link on social media. That's really the best thing that anybody can do. You're still helping out when it's all said and done. And the way that you find that, just type in a Bing Google search, just type in GoFundMe and then do Coco. And it's the very first link you will see in a Bing Google search. Just type in GoFundMe Coco and you'll be able to come across it that way. All right. Also, did you guys hear about this? AJPW, All Japan Pro Wrestling. They announced earlier that it's canceled their Champion Carnival 2020 due to COVID-19. It was set to go down April 6th at the Korakuen Hall and run through May the 5th. This comes the day after Davey Boy Smith Jr., Lucas Steele, and Joel Redmond all dropped out of the tournament due to travel restrictions. And it was actually during a AJPW press conference that the president for the promotion said that they're going to be making every attempt it can to run the tournament this year. And this tournament, talk about a lot of history. It started in the early 70s. I think it was 72 or 73 when it had started. But it's been held every year since 1991. So talk about some tradition that's going on there. It's crazy right now. Like, at my second job, we're wearing all these fucking, you've probably seen it when you go on grocery shopping yourself. We're now wearing these Judge Dredd fucking masks, as I fucking call them. And got these face masks on. I swear it's like the atomic bomb has already dropped and we all are characters in a Fallout game. That's really how it feels right now. It really does feel like that right now. See, also, this was really, really freaking cool. Mick Foley. Talk about a guy that constantly donates his time, his money to really cool, awesome charities and everything. He's doing something really cool during this whole pandemic. He had sent a message out to people on Twitter earlier, letting them know that he's unable to travel and be with his family right now due to the pandemic. And he wanted to help out others that may be feeling as lonely as he is right now, as he's self-quarantined, just to make sure, he's going to be okay and everything before he gets back with his family and everything. And he actually said he was inspired by Becky Lynch, Jewel, and another friend to send free video messages to any fan that tweets him using the hashtag FreeFoleyVideo. So, if that's maybe you, or maybe you know somebody that could use a little bit of cheering up right now and all that, check that out, especially if you got Twitter. Honestly, if you don't have Twitter, and it's a case where you know somebody that's a big wrestling fan that could use some cheering up, and they're a big Mick Foley fan, then that's really a good time to create a Twitter account. And like I said, hashtag FreeFoleyVideo. Hashtag that. Even at him. I think his at handle is Real Mick Foley, but definitely use that hashtag, and hopefully, maybe Mick Foley will pick your joint and hook you up. Oh, hey, we got a super chat coming from my man Gino. Thank you, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate the super chat. Haven't seen you in a good minute. Hope you've been well, my friend. Appreciate you as always. So yeah, that should put a smile on somebody's face. So check that out when you guys get an opportunity. Also, going into WrestleMania weekend, ESPN continuing to experiment with the WWE content. I'm sure you guys heard the numbers by now for what last weekend's WrestleMania Encore had did on ESPN. It basically had drew in a little over 420,000 views. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. This weekend, ESPN is going to be airing a marathon of WWE content dedicated to Brock Lesnar. Everything kicks off. Let me look right here. Everything is kicking off. ESPN will air the first nationally televised encore presentation of WrestleMania 35 this Sunday, April 5th, 3 p.m. Eastern. Sunday's programming lineup will also include several of Brock Lesnar's high-profile UFC title bouts and will culminate with his 2000 NCAA Wrestling Championship victory on ESPN2. So check this out. This is the full schedule that's going to run from... You might want to set your DVRs for this. I'm definitely setting my DVR because I like shit like this. True story, on my DVR, I didn't even know this, but the games that were initially supposed to come on ESPN and TNT before the unfortunate passing of Kobe Bryant. So if you guys remember, one of the games they showed Kobe's last game as a Laker where he scored those ridiculous amount of points. And then, if I remember it right, they showed another game where, God, I think it was maybe Kobe and All-Star game or something like that. And there was two other games that they had. So I got to go back and check it out. But I love when we get stuff like this because that's badass, especially if you've never seen it before or whatever. So check this out. Sunday, 6 a.m. Eastern. Set your DVR. It's going to go from 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern. So at 6 a.m., you got the UFC main event, Brock Lesnar taking on Alistair Overeem. I always mispronounce his name. Overeem? 7 a.m., UFC main event, Brock Lesnar taking on Shane Carwin. 7:30 a.m., UFC main event, Brock Lesnar taking on Cain Velasquez. 8 a.m., UFC Unleashed, Brock Lesnar taking on Randy Couture. Ooh, that should be bomb. 9 a.m., the 2000 NCAA Wrestling Championship. In addition, for you guys that got ESPN Plus is adding a Brock Lesnar collection to its library that includes several of his classic UFC bouts. Lesnar on ESPN Plus. So there's a ESPN E60 feature on Brock Lesnar from 2009 that will re-air as part of Sunday Morning Sports Center. So check that out. That's going to be pretty badass. Also, looks like Triple H is slated to appear on ESPN Radio's Golic and Wingo 9 a.m. Eastern on Friday, April 3rd to preview WrestleMania 36. So you may want to set your DVR. Again, that's going to be for this Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern. Triple H will be on Golic and Wingo on ESPN to preview WrestleMania 36. So set your DVR for that. I wonder if he's going to be making appearances on the FS1 shows as well, because remember, they got that relationship going on there with Fox and everything. So I wonder if maybe he's going to somehow join the guys on FS1. Who knows? Wait and see on that. But yeah, set your DVRs. I'm definitely going to be setting my DVR. I'm looking forward to checking out all of those things. Also, Stardom and Dragon Gate, they canceled more shows because of the coronavirus. Stardom announced that it's canceled. Good God. April 11th, Saturday show, Yokohama Radiant Hall. That's canceled. April 25th, Saturday, Osaka World Pavilion at noon. That's canceled. April 25th, Saturday, another Saturday show, Osaka World Pavilion at night, that's canceled as well. Meanwhile, Dragon Gate, they've canceled events set for April 11th and the 12th. They announced a preliminary tour schedule for June on Facebook, but you gotta take that with a grain of salt, because even by then, things might not be back to normal. So, a lot of craziness that's going on with some of your favorite wrestling promotions, man. A lot of craziness. Also, we're talking about promotions. Look at WWE. WWE, take it with a grain of salt until otherwise, but supposedly next month's WWE Money in the Bank pay-per-view, that might not be happening due to the coronavirus. So, this event was originally slated for May 9th in Baltimore, Maryland. But you've got a rumor going around that WWE is possibly going to be canceling it. And honestly, I've been saying for years WWE needs to have a off season, rest their main stars. I always entertain the idea of an off season for their A-list talent, and then while the A-list talent is resting, the B and C talent can basically come up in their place, do it like that. I know WWE is always boosting about there's no off season for us. We just keep it coming. We keep it coming. And I appreciate that and everything, but if there's ever a time to have an off season, one where fans all around the world would totally understand it, it's right now. And for me, you ask me what I would really like to see. I've said it off and on the past couple of weeks now. I'll say it again. I wish now, more than ever, WWE would just go on ahead, wrap up these story arcs come WrestleMania, and then just, okay, we're done. We're done. As far as WWE programming goes, you'll see some greatest hits compilations, introduce some new exclusive interviews here and there, and honestly, just when things get back to normal, or if I could be candid, there was one cool idea I had thought about a couple of weeks ago, but I don't know how you guys would personally feel about it. Why not go animated? Seriously, why not go animated? Why not have your SmackDown, your NXT, your Raw, why not have those shows go animated? That would be very interesting. I mean, when you really stop and think about it, right? When you really stop and think about it, these characters that we see on our TV, they're supposed to be larger than life. You know, they're supposed to be these real life superheroes that are constantly defying the odds with everything that they're able to do with their bodies and everything. Everything's predetermined, right? So, why not go the animated route for the foreseeable future until things get back to normal? I don't really think anybody would have a freaking problem with that. I mean, to each its own. I personally wouldn't. And to the point, I'm actually going to create a poll. And I'm going to ask you guys. I'm going to say, look, with this thing, this pandemic, doesn't seem that there's a ending in sight. Do you think for the foreseeable future, maybe WWE should entertain the idea of telling their stories from an animated standpoint? Do some sweet ass animation like X-Men from back in the 90s, or you can't help but wonder, maybe that's the route. It might sound a little too silly, a little far-fetched, but I might be on to something, guys. I don't know. That's just me. Also, NXT. There's an NXT broadcast that's still being listed for April 7th. NXT was advertising a live TV taping for Tuesday, April 7th at Full Sail. USA Network website schedule is still listing that show for that respected date from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern. However, that was before the shutdowns due to the outbreak. During Wednesday's NXT, that show would air in its normal Wednesday night time slot on April 8th. So currently, pay attention now, currently, The official USA Network schedule only lists to be announced for the normal NXT time slot for April 8th. And remember, that show is supposed to feature Tommaso Ciampa taking on Johnny Gargano in an empty building match and the women's ladder match. So previously you had the Stanley Cup playoffs that were expected to air on Wednesday, April 8th, but with the NHL season suspended, can't really do that. Also, DirecTV's website still lists NXT listed for Tuesday, April 7th, and to be announced Wednesday, April 8th. So, I guess it's as good as mine. What the hell is going on? We'll know a little bit more as we get a little closer. See, other than that, see, we got a couple more shoutouts we need to get into, don't we? Yeah, we got a couple more shoutouts we need to get into. At this point, I want to give a shout out to chairshottees.com. You guys, last week, if you had saw Wednesday's broadcast, you saw that cool kick-ass Jake the Snake Roberts shirt I was pushing. Loved it, man. I loved it. Family loved it. Was getting compliments on it when I was wearing it out and about. Actually, it was a couple of... You'd be surprised how many wrestling fans are actually around my neighborhood. It's actually pretty fucking cool. You can just stumble upon somebody and there's been about 10-15 minutes talking about wrestling, so that's pretty cool. But check them out, chairshottees.com. You can check out officially licensed wrestling merchandise from a lot of cool legends like Jake Roberts, Bruiser Brody, Demolition, Hawk and Animal. Check them out. Great stuff. You won't be disappointed. Trying to figure out if we got any more sponsors. My man Screaming Bulls I1 on Twitter. Check him out. Screaming Bulls I1, the actual number one. He makes really cool wrestling bust figurines. Great shit. He is a big old school fan, so a lot of the busts that he's been making on his own is ECW, classic WCW, but he's willing to do custom orders. So build it from scratch. It's really cool how he has it all set up too, man. So check him out. He's on Twitter. I think that's it for shout outs, really. So we don't have anybody else we need to... Oh, you know what? There's actually one more we got to promote. My good friends over at President Evil, the movie. 3 young girls stalked by a deranged serial killer dressed as the President of the United States of America. Check out the movie on Amazon. President Evil. Also, one last thing I want to bring to y'all's attention, and we can now reveal this. I'm closing the show with this. So, Patreon members know this, because when it comes to exclusives, that's what they get. Patreon members knew about this months ago, but we actually were supposed to have come on to the show pretty much this week that we're in right now, this respective week that we're in. We actually were supposed to have on the show WWE Hall of Famer and legend Jim Ross. Patreon members knew about this for months. Long story short, we couldn't get Jim Ross on the show. Nothing that he did, but his people were just... And the kicker, we weren't dealing directly with his people. There was a buffer that was in there, and the buffer were the people that was the publishing company behind his new book, Under the Black Hat. And they were really cool with us. We were able to get advanced copies months before the street release, and you could actually go on iTunes and Amazon. You could actually see my review for the new book. Highly recommend you guys check it out. I'll actually be doing a audio review for that book in the coming days that will be available on YouTube, just FYI. But I could show you the emails. I wish it was a case where I'm pulling you all's leg, but if you were to see the amount of email exchanges that I had with these people, all initiated by them, and it's reactionary. What they're giving me, I'm responding back. Grand total, there was like 25 emails. And at least on 3 occasions, okay, what's your date? What days are you available? And we did everything right at our end. Last bit of exchanges that we had with the people, they basically were saying, hey, we got to strong arm his people, because they're not giving us the times and dates that he's available and everything. And earlier this week, when it was looking as though, okay, this is pretty much it, because his book is out like this week, if we still don't have the interview, it's safe to say this interview ain't happening. And sure enough, like, street release went. So, I sent the very polite message and said, look, at this point, safe to say the interview isn't happening. That's okay. We understand, but we still did our part. We put the kind reviews for the book available on social media, and it was a sincere review. So check out the book is the point that I'm making. It's a really good book. I'm just disappointed we weren't able to get him on the show, because I could definitely tell you the questions that I had for him, very unique. Very, very unique. If you guys been listening to the show long enough, you kind of have an idea some of the things that I was going to be asking him, but it was definitely going to be an interview that wasn't going to follow in the traditional, tell us about the book. There was going to be a little bit of the book plug-in, but it wasn't just all going to be spasming out on the book. But hopefully, later down the road, I don't know. I think maybe I might have to hit up my man, Jason Solomonster, and I know he was able to get JR on his show. I don't know. Maybe I hate to do that though. I don't like pulling that card with my podcasting buddies, but I don't know. Maybe for the future, maybe that's something I might have to consider, and see if maybe Jason might be able to give me a hookup or whatever. But that's what we were working on. I'm sorry it didn't work out. I would have been totally in cloud nine, because there is only but a handful of people these days that really gets me excited and has me want to have them on the show. Very seldom. So, hopefully, I won't say never say never, but maybe down the road we can eventually have him on the show, because it would have been awesome. It really would have been awesome. All right, so on that note, honestly, that's it. We're pretty much good to go. So I'm going to go on ahead. I'm going to quickly edit this audio, do what I got to do to clean it up. I'm going to get it out in the next 30 to 45 minutes. If I could do it a lot sooner, that's great. Your programming notes, once again, I got you guys this Saturday and Sunday. Me and Tammy will be live after WrestleMania airs. We'll be right here on YouTube going over what all had came about. And you'll get your regular show this coming Monday after Raw. We definitely got to cover that, right? That is the Raw after Mania. So that should be a pretty interesting show, unless WWE decides they want to go on ahead and just shut the shit down altogether. Wait and see how they go on about that. Get at me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Use the keywords, the RCWR show, Be Kind, Rewind. Check out previous episodes you might have missed on demand and on the downloads. For you guys that check out the webcast version of the shows on YouTube, you enjoyed. If you haven't subscribed, hit subscribe. But most importantly, click the bell notification and make sure you select all notifications so you know everything that's going on with the channel. You ain't going to get spammed out like that. One last thing I do want to mention, by the way. Shout out to those of you that are fellow YouTube podcasters. I noticed a company by the name of AdRev for third party. These guys are notorious. Apparently, when you do your research on them in YouTube, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. These guys are notorious for just doing fake copyrights for music that they claim is theirs, and it's not theirs. I've seen it affect so many people over the years. I've had my own rounds with them off and on over the years, and I've won every single time they have tried to claim some type of music. And I've had, over this week alone, I've had 50. I wish I was bullshitting you guys. I've had 50 of my videos get copyright claims by them, saying that my intro, this will really show how much of you guys are longtime listeners. There was a old RCWR show intro we used to use where there was no sound. There was basically like a shutter flicker sound that you would hear, and you would see the graphics and all that appear. It was a quiet joint. Well, they basically tried to say that with regards to that 30-second intro, that was their music, and they were trying to claim that it was from Brand X, Body in the Woods, or some stupid shit like that. And I just, bogus claim, bogus claim, bogus claim, bogus claim. And even reached out directly to their website, contacted them directly, letting them know what was going on. I don't know if it's maybe because of the COVID outbreak that's going on. Maybe that's why they're not replying back, or I've got their feet to the fire. They know it's bullshit. But just FYI, for those of you that may be experiencing issues with ad rev for third party, no, you can. No, as in know your rights. Know that you can dispute when you see claims like that. You could dispute them. You could contact. In worst case scenario, if they don't reply to your rebuttal of that copyright claim, if they don't respond within the 30 days allowed, know that automatically that just reverts back over to you, and any money that you generated off of that piece, it comes back to you. This company apparently is very notorious for going after YouTubers, especially when they see, oh, that video is doing extremely well. Oh, it's got so many views. It's got so much engagement, blah this, blah that. And they tack it. I wish I was bullshitting you guys. There were even times where these guys even claimed videos that had nothing. No music whatsoever, no little sound effect, just raw vocals. Just raw vocals. And they even try to claim, so that lets you know how shady as fuck these guys are. So be safe, be well. You see those guys, hopefully I smarten you up. But yeah, good times. I'm wondering how long before I break 100. Because I kind of feel like at the rate these guys are going, it's weird too, because it seems to be once I go to bed for the night and I wake up the next day, like 3, 4, 5 videos, and then mid-afternoon, like while I'm working, 3, 4, 5 videos. Seems like that's the pattern. It seems like it's kind of slowing down, but just when I think it's slowed down. So just imagine that 50 videos. Oh, our song is in there. So basically, you guys have gone through, if I'm doing 4 shows a week, right? If I'm doing 4 shows a week, then you've essentially gone through about almost roughly 7 months of content that you guys are claiming. Anyway, I digress. That's going to do it. I'm wishing all of y'all to be safe. I always say that, right? Now more than ever, please be safe. Most importantly, be kind to one another. And I will definitely see you guys this weekend for Wrestlemania weekend. You guys do take care. Love you all. Please be well.